Hi, this is Robin Pollard performing a persuasive speech on the No Child Left Behind Act. Note card number 1, note card number 2, and note card number 3. On January 8, 2002, President Bush signed the No Child Left Behind Act, making it a public law. The No Child Left Behind Act is the federal government's attempt to improve our public education system. The goal is to improve standards for accountability for our schools within the state. But in truth, what has happened is we have reduced effective teaching in our classroom and encouraged states to lower their standards. The No Child Left Behind Act is optional for states. If they're willing to give up the federal funds that come along with it, they do not have to adopt this law. A few states were against this law, but with the desire to have additional federal funds, were persuaded to adopt it. The No Child Left Behind Act mandates that all states give annual standardized testing to our students in grades 3 through 8 and one time in high school. The goal is 100% efficiency by the year 2014. States failing to meet these expectations will be penalized in various ways. After 2 years of failing this annual standardized testing, schools are required to offer students to transfer out of that district to another school. After 3 years of failing the standardized testing, the schools are required to offer tutoring to the students. And after 5 years of failing the standardized testing, there must be restructure in that school, which means the staff will be examined and possibly replaced. They may be converted to a charter school. The state or another private institution must intervene, and the federal funds may be withdrawn at that point. The No Child Left Behind Act has had negative effects and will continue to be detrimental to our children if there's no reform. The states, as it stands now, are allowed to devise their own standardized tests, which means we have 50 tests with 50 different standards and no way to measure the progress between states. This also allows states to lower their standards and show progress when actually none has been achieved. The Thomas B. Fordham Foundation found that in 30 different states from the year 2000 to 2006 that the standards were lowered. These standardized tests focus mainly on math and reading. And with so much focus only on 2 subjects, it leaves little time for subjects such as science, social studies, and art. The Teachers Network conducted a survey and found that only 3% of our teachers in all 50 states think that the No Child Left Behind Act allows them to teach effectively. And Martin West at the Brown University found that reading instruction increased by 40 minutes per week on average and decreased 17 minutes and 23 minutes in science and social studies per week. And these numbers were much steeper in the failing schools. The No Child Left Behind Act, the No Child Left Behind Act focuses mainly on, with so much focus on these 2 subjects, it leaves some students behind. It awards schools for focusing on the students that are barely below grade level, while leaving absolutely no incentives for focusing on students that are well below grade level or above grade level. Time magazine reported one student at Blaine Elementary in Pennsylvania. He worked so hard and he improved 4 reading levels. While that seems like great progress, this child was deemed a failure by standardized testing. And our gifted and talented students are forced to sit in classrooms and wait while teachers drill reading and math. The Duke University reported that only 1% of federal funds of our educational federal funds are used for our gifted and talented programs. And some states have even diverted funds that have previously been used for our gifted and talented students and put them in a state block and allowed schools to tap into that money for other services other than the gifted and talented, leaving them unnoticed. The No Child Left Behind Act has good intentions. Well, there must be reform to make the No Child Left Behind Act work. First of all, we need one standardized testing across all 50 states with one standard to be able to measure progress for our students. And rather than have a pass or fail, we need to see their progress from year to year. And rather than have tutoring required after 3 years, it should come in before or at least after 1 year of failing. And maybe we should divert the funds. SourceWatch Encyclopedia reported that 6 million hours in paperwork was created by the No Child Left Behind Act, which left states and local governments paying $141 million for paperwork. If we could have the federal government step in and take control of these standardized testing and all monetary obligations, and we could divert that $141 million to our districts that need other programs to help them meet the standards. The No Child Left Behind Act has good intentions, but has been misinterpreted by many states and has allowed several children to be left behind. It is our duty as parents and citizens of the United States to ensure that our children's education system has high standards and that those standards are being met. The No Child Left Behind Act must be reformed in order for our public school system not to become a failure for our children. Thank you.
Thank you for listening, Derek, Melanie, Sherry, and Tom.